And in Asia, they're now starting to process more chickens. And India also having been a huge, and still continues to be hugely, live bird sales. But I mean, they're progressively moving into slaughtering more and more chickens, as are other Asian countries and Africa. And as they start to get into that, then they kind of line up all the challenges we've been discussing that Europe and the US and Brazil would have.
And talking about, we talked about Europe, we talked about the industry in general, but are there any regional special cases when it comes to the planning? Maybe some markets with a specific products, that make it extremely challenging to plan, or some practices that are, very different from European practices?
Well, a lot of the developing countries are moving. A lot of birds sold in Africa today are sold live, so they don't go anywhere near a processing plant, and there's not a huge sensitivity about their weight to the extent that we've been talking about. But these markets are on a journey, and in Asia, they're now starting to process more chickens. And India also having been a huge, and still continues to be hugely, live bird sales. But I mean, they're progressively moving into slaughtering more and more chickens, as are other Asian countries and Africa. And as they start to get into that, then they kind of line up all the challenges we've been discussing that Europe and the US and Brazil would have already. And these challenges they have to face into. So, everybody chases volume sales. Fast food is a big thing. Doesn't matter which part of the world you're in, there are fast food people, and they're moving to fixed weight, fixed portion size, and rigid adherence to that. So again, the fixed weight, fixed price thing starts to come into play. And then you'll find over time, as the retail sector grows, and we all know Carrefour, Walmart, Tesco, they're all growing internationally. And they'll look for more and more fixed weight, fixed price products as well. So it's going to creep into most markets. The other big challenge is fresh. And a lot of countries want to produce fresh now because it's a barrier to entry for imports. I mean, a lot of countries will never compete with Brazil for imported frozen chicken prices. So how can we differentiate our product? Well, let's produce it local, let's produce it fresh. And of course, that creates its own demands in terms of service in the market. With fresh product, you don't have the timelines to work to. You've got to produce fresh to order. You can't pack it, last month and deliver it next, 2 months' time. So it adds to the complexity. So everybody's on a bit of a journey. I guess over time in Asia, they'll all get on with these challenges. And to be fair, Thailand are right now, and for many years, supplying Japan and Europe to very tough markets to supply, very tight constraints on spec of product and weight ranges. And they're doing it today in many of these plants in Thailand. But in Indonesia, Malaysia, they're all moving in that same direction. So at some point in time, they're going to have all this complexity to manage.
Yeah, there's definitely a trend, but good for them that by the time they get there, they can use all the experience that all other markets already gained for them, so that they can apply best practices, they can utilize the equipment that works, and apply solutions that already proven to be working.